Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, our Kings. We're here, Spencer Fearon back on the channel. A few things to go through, but yeah, first off, matey, how are we? It's a nice day today where I am. It looks good where you are too.
Yeah, it's a nice day. I'm going up to Slough later on today to give a talk for some young people. Myself, UFC superstar Michael Venom Page, in association with the Almadina 313 charity. So that's up in Slough in the Kayana boxing gym. So I'm looking forward to going to do that. So yeah.
100%. Look, let's just start in the obvious place and address the weekend. Usyk and Dubois. I was stateside, but I had it on the app, watched it. Um, Oleksandr Usyk for me is absolutely brilliant. And there's a lot of things, obviously, about the things leading up to the fight, but I want to just focus on the fight for a minute. Just give me your sort of initial takeaway from what was an Oleksandr Usyk special in many ways.
It was exactly that. Alexander Usyk is absolutely fantastic. Look at the things that he does, and you know what you have to really admire about the man is that he'll study and implement what he has computed, and he can execute there and then, or he can be patient and say, "Well, I've seen like." How you're leaning in when you're throwing your right hand shot and wait. And that's what he did. You have to it's like on a rarity where you watch certain guys box and you think, you know what? I have to relish that moment of which I've just witnessed. I've seen this a couple of times, like in recent years. We're like the night when Roy Jones in March of 2003 when he beat John Ruiz,
Yeah.
which was like it was mind-blowingly good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's at those times where you have to say to yourself, like, what we've just witnessed, we really do have to, you know, write that one down in the history books as something that we've witnessed something very, very special. Similarly to like when we saw Joe Kawasaki give that punch perfect demonstration against Jeff Lacey. It's like kind of roundabout those kind of things where you watch it and you say to yourself, I've literally just witnessed something amazing.
There's only, I think, there's them rare moments when you watch it. Obviously, when you watch as much boxing as obviously media, someone like yourself, and you've seen everything over the years, there are them moments where you just go, wow. And watching it, I wasn't there obviously to see it, but I've seen Usyk before in the flesh plenty of times. And every time you watch him, every single time you go away with that same thought of he's just so elite for this
You
time.
you do. I remember like watching his first fight versus Anthony Joshua, right? And I remember watching that and thinking to myself, what a special guy he was. But then also saying, nah, I think like if Joshua had done this and Joshua had done that and Joshua had done, it doesn't matter what Joshua does because his IQ level is head and shoulders above anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was a weight differential between him and Tyson Fury? And he just figures out stuff. He's superb, and we have to. He's great of this generation, right? And yeah, he's great. That's what it is.
I think when we talk about the fight as a whole, what did you make of them? The flip side, then obviously Daniel Dubois, look, stoppage defeat, no shame in losing to Usyk. I think the big thing surrounding it was obviously the sort of the aftermath. Saw it on Talksport first, but yourselves, I think, as well, brought up the fact that they obviously had this gathering, as Don Charles called it. Now, I watched Don explain it on Talksport. I've spoke to other people about this, and obviously, apparently, this happened before the Anthony Joshua fight.
Mhm.
And I think I spoke to Dave Colwell, and he said, not everything that works, or if you get away with doing something one fight, you necessarily get away with doing it in another fight. Like going into a fight with a broken rib, one night you might get away with it, the other
Mhm.
night you might not. What's your, just give me your honest sort of thoughts on
Matt,
what came out.
there was an old saying in Jamaica, right? And that is my heritage. That puss and dog don't have the same luck, right? That is it, right? You can do one thing one day, yeah, but puss and dog now the same luck, and that's what we say at Jamaica, and that is it. You know what I mean? You don't have the same luck. And when people say it was a gathering, regardless, what is a gathering? A gathering where music is played, right?
Party.
Right? Where music is played and there was a lot of people there, even though I know it was like he sent off and people came around the house to go to the fight, that is still a party. Bottom line. End of story. That's a party, right? Because they met up, but it was still a form of celebration, right?
Yeah.
That's a party, right? No matter how you want to twist it or you know what I mean, or put semantics behind it, it was still a party, right? And anybody could tell you, and being an experienced person within boxing, I've been around boxing all of my life, right? When you have fight day, you're very edgy anyway. You don't want people around you. Now, could you imagine, just for instance, I remember being fortunate enough to be, it was Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury fight. So we're going back nearly 2 years ago, right, in Saudi. That was like the first thing that broke Riyadh season, right? I remember being out there. I know Tyson Fury pretty well, right? And as I was at the fight, and I see Tyson Fury like 2 days before the fight, right? And you just keep it basic, right? Were you saying that go about your business, right? And he's like, no, no, no. And we had a good little chat. And I said, I think, why you here? Do a video for my son. It mean a lot. He did it, all the rest of it, right? But there's just levels to how you want to be. Now, when you're seeing, you don't want people coming up to you, hugging you. You're standing up for selfies, all the rest of it. That doesn't compute. I don't care in any language, right? It doesn't compute because that means that your focus is not solely focused on the fight. It's not, because it can't be. It's impossible, right? But you live and you learn, and that's no knock of Daniel Dubois' father, because I'm saying again, Daniel Dubois' father has done an excellent job with his son, right? Never been done in British boxing history that a brother and sister become world champions and held world titles at the same time. Irrespective of the family dynamics and everything else that's going on, that's not my business. What I'm saying is, it's never been done before. Right? So all the credit in the world should be given to the dad for that. But then also you have to know, like I say this constantly, you have to delegate before you get relegated. So certain jobs should have been delegated to other people to go take care of.
When you look at Daniel Dubois, obviously he's still only really young. I think when we think of what he's achieved in a short space of time,
it's been incredible what the kid's done.
Multi-millionaire, back against the wall. Everybody had wrote him off years ago after obviously the Joy stuff, and he's got himself into a position where he's had highlight reel knockouts, good wins over decent opposition. And look, Usyk's not going to be around forever. And he's got one more fight. Fury, Joshua probably fight and retire. The landscape of the heavyweight division is going to be blown wide open again very, very soon, and he'll be there ready to take on all comers.
Yeah, he will be, but you also got to remember, like, there could be psychological damage, but I hope there isn't.
Yeah,
but it could be.
Got to ask, next in line for Usyk, Joseph Parker. Do you think we see that fight? WBO have ordered negotiations.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Usyk's going to get stripped to the WBO title. And then we could see Cabello versus Joseph Parker for the vacant crown. That's what I believe is going to happen. I don't think Usyk's done it twice now. He's been undisputed champion twice, right? But I can't see, because I saw recently on the Ring Magazine stuff. It was like Riyadh is not interested in putting on that fight. So if they're not interested in putting on that fight, then I can see that Usyk gets stripped to the crown, and then Cabello versus Parker for WBO crown.
In terms of Usyk, then let's just play devil's advocate, and assuming that title
Why
gets
can't we
taken
play
away.
God? Why can't we play God's advocate?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, let's play God's advocate.
Right.
That's a good one. Say that happens. Usyk says he has probably one more remaining. Fury comes back next year. Everyone talks about Fury Joshua. Who's the right man for Usyk to bow out to then? I know it doesn't matter because his legacy's cemented for me and everyone else right now, I would assume. So who's the right man for him to have that one with?
Joe Arpotaya.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's the fight. The reason being is because I really do think that Joe Arpotaya is a problem, and him mixing it with that guy and being successful against him, because I think Joe Arpotaya could do some great things at heavyweight. Then that would be him cementing everything. He cemented everything anyway. There's nothing more for him to do.
Done.
Realistically, I like to see Usyk retire. Whether he does, it doesn't matter. But
So,
his legacy cemented.
yeah, 100%. I was in, like I said, I mentioned I was stateside for the return of Manny Pacquiao, 46, 47, however old he is. Came back, put up a good performance against Barrios. Barrios, for me, looked like he showed far too much respect to the man. But I suppose when you got someone like that, you don't know how you feel and the awe of what Manny Pacquiao was, is, or whatever. What did you make of it? Have you seen any of the highlights? He
I
got a
thought I
draw, but he
thought
thought he won.
I thought he actually did win. If an old
So,
46-year-old man is going to a split decision, then he won the fight.
yeah.
Let's be real, right? Barros is an out and out one punch knockout specialist. He's very well skilled, but I thought that the wrong man. Well, not. I think the decision was wrong. It's not going to get overturned, and it's kind of sad because it's kind of like similar like when we saw like Roberto Duran at his tail end of his career. I'm saying
Mm.
like with William Joppy, right? And he got pasted in that fight. That was really hurtful to me, right? But then I remember the promoter saying like, would you rather Roberto Duran fight a fight for $80,000 and the same thing happens, or fight for millions and the same thing happens? But the difference is this: Manny Pacquiao still showed a lot of life in the old dog. And I'm saying that he should have got the decision. But the major thing is this: is like I'm very happy because like he didn't get hurt, and I dread to see something wrong happen to a great legend like he is.
I think that was the overall takeaway going into the fight. Nobody wanted to see the Marquez style knockout that we saw when they were both sort of active, and Barrios catch him with a shot, and that just completely wipes him
Exactly.
out. Um, so I think after speaking to him, he's going to fight again, whether it be this year or early next. Do you think they run that back? I know there was talk of him trying to bring Floyd out of retirement. I mean, why he want to come out of retirement now for? I know why, but you know, what do you make of all that?
Um, I think they should run it back, and you know what? It's like I don't really want to speak on Manny Pacquiao of now because I've watched Manny Pacquiao right throughout his career with the superb fights and the superb wins that he's had in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't really want to focus too much on this because, like, my kids be sitting down saying, "Oh, Daddy's watching the fights." And I'm watching this old guy, and they're saying, "What's about it?" And I'm trying to talk to them about
Yeah,
his business and talk to you. You understand? It's like, I mean, my son's like 13 now, so it's different.
yeah,
No, so it's
yeah.
one of those things.
You'd have to put the Margarito fight on maybe first, just to make him understand this is
Eh,
what
right.
this was like,
Or
kind
the
of
Ricky
thing.
Hatton knockout. The Ricky Hatton knockout is still
Mm.
one of the most ferocious knockouts that I've ever witnessed.
Yeah,
It's horrible. It was a horrible knockout.
that was as brutal as it gets. Look, as coming up with some huge fights. Obviously, we've just had a matchroom one announced. The Donovan and Crocker rematch, I think, is a terrific fight. But before we just touch on that, November, I caught up and spoke to Anthony Yard briefly in New
Yeah,
York.
I saw the interview. Very good interview.
But he's always gracious with his time. But what a fight to take for him! I mean, for me, Benavidez, one of the terrific fight. I've seen him live, seen him a few fights. What a fight for him to take! And this is his time again to try and get over the line. And he's going against a guy in his prime as well.
Well, the thing about it is this is like Anti Yard again keeps on showing people he I mean his cojones.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about Anti Yard as who's he for? And but like, let's look at the fights that he's been in with. So in this time here, he's going in as the elder statesman, right? And and I know Tundi will get stick from time to time, but on how he's maneuvered Anthony Yard as a manager,
Oh,
you gotta bow humbly. I'm still thinking like,
Kovalev.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
You got
Kovalev was Kovalev.
yeah, yeah, me, yeah. Come on. So I've known Tundi for 30 odd years. So to see the guy who we used to call Musclehead from back in the days, like be at the epicenter fighting for another world title, fighting like getting financially rewarded greatly, right? And just constantly just believing because a few years ago, like they didn't really know what was going on, but he constantly kept on believing that something was going to happen. And this is the thing. So all fighters stay in the gym, just stay in the gym and work, but work with an integrity. And one thing I got to give him, like Tundi's integral and Yard is integral. You know what I mean? And with everything that's happened with the passing of James Cook and everything who was in their camp, it's a really good thing that this is happening simply because they actually relish challenges, right? And they're getting rewarded for relishing challenges. And yeah, it's a great fight. And people looking like, oh, how difficult this Benavidez fight is. Um, you know me, I watch a lot of tapes. I watch a lot of fights, a lot of fights, because I'm completely and utterly obsessed. And is it an easy fight for Anthony Yard? No, it's not an easy fight for Anthony Yard. Is it a winnable fight for Anthony Yard? It's a winnable fight for Anthony Yard, but it's not going to be easy. I'm going to be real with you. It's winnable. It's winnable because the things that Yard's going to bring to the table is going to be unlike anything else that Benavidez has encountered.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And but Benavidez is bloody good. And both men should be commended for this fight. But Benavidez is very, very good. But the best thing that could have happened to Anthony Yard was to go 12 rounds with Lyndon Arthur, simply because of Lyndon Arthur's body type.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because
Yeah.
they're around about the same height. They got that same
Frame. Yeah.
so as far as I'm concerned, that was the best thing for Anthony. But we shall see what happens. I'm looking forward for November 22nd because I know loads of people from Great Britain have been flying out to Saudi for that one. And I'm talking South London, West London, East London, and North because I'm getting a phone call right now. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
You got Haney and Brian Norman as well coming up, and I think
That is a superb fight.
You've got to say as well, commend Devin Haney. I know Brian needed his opportunity; he's got one, but Devin Haney, for all the criticism he gets, seemingly always asks for tough fights. You can't say I don't think he doesn't. Like Lomachenko, take the fight. Wants a tough fight, took the Ryan Garcia fight. We know what happened in the fight, but you'd be forgiven. People obviously never forgive him because he's always playing that sort of, I think that bad guy character a little bit. But Brian Norman's a good puncher, like a big puncher.
Brian Norman's not just a good puncher. People are forgetting.
No,
Brian Norman's not just good. He's very well timed.
Yes.
It's not just that he's a good puncher. Good puncher. Right, cool. But he's very, very well timed.
Mm-hmm.
Very well timed. Mm-hmm. And I am so looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to that fight.
100.
I'm desperate. I'm there. But there's loads of good fights on that card as well. Abdullah Mason's on that. Against
Sam Knox. Yeah,
that's a great fight. Great fight. So I'm just looking forward to the card. I'm looking forward to being out there for it. But I am looking forward to that card.
Last one, obviously, yesterday we've had confirmation. Crocker Donovan too. We obviously the date it lands, I think it's unfortunate around obviously the Crawford Canelo stuff. But in terms of an actual fight, an occasion for the people in Ireland, it's going to be absolutely incredible. The atmosphere will be brilliant. After everything that happened in the first, you're looking forward to seeing this one?
Of course I am. I'm more looking forward to the build-up. I hope they do a head-to-head with Andy Lee and Billy Nelson. That's what I mean. That is what I'm looking
forward to. Really? Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I'm looking forward to that. Because I like both. I like both gentlemen, and I like to see that because with Billy Nelson's cool. I got big up Billy Nelson. Billy Nelson's a cool guy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes he just chats so much that people may dislike because he chats a lot. But Billy Nelson at heart is actually a really nice man.
He's a top man. Yeah.
Yeah, top man. And he's helped me out on many food programs I've done with the homeless, where he sent donations and wait till Martin fights. And as soon as Martin fights, he'll send me a check for me to where I'm going at when I'm doing the homeless feed. So no, big up Billy Nelson. But I like Andy Lee. Andy didn't be my pal for years, So I'd like to see that.
Fight aside, Andy Lee is a trainer at the minute and a teacher. Like that's what he keeps getting referred to as. I remember after the Hamzah fight, Hamzah spoke so highly of him and the short time they've had together. How much do you sort of rate Andy Lee? Obviously, we know what he was as a fighter, but he's transitioned over into this trainer teacher role and like a duck to water.
I tell you what I like about Andy Lee, right? I'll tell you what I like about Andy Lee. Andy Lee is a man, right, that came from lineage. His predecessor was a great man, which a lot of these trainers don't come from great people. A lot of trainers right now just think, oh, I want to be a boxing coach, and they just go get their license. But I want to know then from what lineage did you come from? What lineage? Who was you around? Who taught you? Right? I remember when Andy Lee used to come down from Ireland and he spent a lot of time with Tony Sese down at Repton, and he'd be down in the Repton gym around Tony Burns. Right? Tony Burns come from lineage. I look at a lot of these guys, do they come from lineage? You know, when these guys are in boxing, I went on there, okay, that's nice, but who was your teacher? Right?
Yeah.
And then you got to take bits from there, take bits from there, take bits from there. The reason why I like Andy Lee is because he came from a teacher of lineage. He didn't just come from the guy. He lived with the late, great Emmanuel Stewart. So you don't think he's going to pick up bits? And also, the reason why I like Andy Lee, because he doesn't make things about himself. There's no ego there. None whatsoever. He leaves ego at the door. And you know why there's no ego? Look when Joe Joyce hammered Joseph Parker. What did Andy Lee do? Andy Lee had to go back to the drawing board. But the thing about it is this why it went underneath the radar, because Andy Lee went all up, my fighter's going to do this and blah, 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 and this, that, and all the rest of it. And sometimes trainers really do get carried away.
Yeah. He's never one to do that.
No,
and he never will. But
and this is why I don't just like Andy Lee. I love the brother. He's a nice guy, man. I've known him for years. So he's a really, really nice guy, and he knows he knows I respect him, and he respects me as well. So, I mean, I wish nothing but the best for Andy Lee, and let him just keep on doing what he's doing. And not only that, I also like how he turns out. I like his attire. You know what I mean? He's like a throwback gentleman. I can't even say English gentleman because he's actually Irish, but he's a throwback gentleman. I like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's always got nice tweed blazers on and stuff like that. And it looks classy. And I like that because you're meant to be an elder statesman. And when you think about a teacher, you want a teacher to look like that. If you had a professor walking into a study to give a dissertation, you'd want them to look like Andy Lee. And that's what Andy Lee is. So big up Andy Lee and massive big up to Hamzah Sheeraz because that was a fantastic performance against Edgar Berlanga. And let me just touch on this thing again. There's been a lot of people saying that Hamzah Sheeraz cheated and he must have had something. You must have seen it all on there. The absolute garbage, right? Put some respect on Hamzah Sheeraz's name. Put some massive respect on Andy Lee's name, and also Spencer Brown who's managing him. And I wish them guys nothing but the best. Oh, and also Queensbury because they're his promotion group.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, Spencer, I really appreciate you jumping on this fine day. And always good catching up with you, and we'll do it very soon. Appreciate it.
Take care. God bless, my friend.
Have a good one.